Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hanagriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live?
From Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hanagriff along with Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Andy Isco with us later on in this hour. We do first class, second class, no class on Tuesdays. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, we had it's kind of a little fun doubleheader last night. Was able to watch college basketball. Was able to watch McNeese against Alabama, and then the Monday night game as we kind of transition. We got a big night of college basketball tonight. It's kind of transitioning in. You get a little football, you get a little MAC, a little bit, some nice college basketball matchups as we kind of make the transition a little bit. Get to watch last night.
Oh, Alabama at McNeese State?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
Respectable loss for McNeese. They were, I think, a 17-point underdog.
18.
And they lost by 8.
Went down as much as maybe 16 and a half range. McNeese State, midway through the first half, had a lead. Bama, I think, stretched out. What was it at half? Maybe 8 or so?
I thought it might have been. I thought it was 10, but I could be wrong.
Something in that range. McNeese State's athleticism in defense really created some problems for a high-scoring offensive team like Alabama, who I think has the best roster in the country this year. I mean, think about it. They went to the Final Four last year. They lost nothing. They added recruits and transfers. And, I mean, they were certainly respectable. I mean, they had the lead 10 minutes to go against UConn.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot,
Against that UConn team, absolutely.
Purdue couldn't. I mean, who was competitive? They were the most competitive in a tournament. So not only did they advance far, but they had the most coming back as well. A lot of people are high on Kansas. Kansas wasn't the team that Alabama was last year. I mean, they weren't. And, I mean, they don't return as much as well. So, Duke as the number one player, and this kid was phenomenal in some of even the workouts against the Olympic team and things like that. So, and we'll see those two teams tonight, but it's kind of the same old for Willie Wade, minus a couple of years when they had here at LSU. This is his VCU team. This is his VCU style of play. It's havoc. It's really creating a lot of problems on defense. They create a lot of turnovers early for Alabama, and they rebound like they pound that glass. And so, but they're very sketchy on offense and just kind of rely heavily on one-on-one type of moves. They got a couple of guys that can create for themselves, but not a whole lot of really quality looks throughout the offensive sets. They muck it up. They muck it up, and that's what they wanted to do. Alabama was, and then keep in mind, November, we're still offensive. Basketball's got a long way to go, but just very similar to what their team was last year. Instead of Jahada Wells last year kind of creating for himself or for his friends, the kid from St. Louis, the transfer is, he's their offensive guy when things bogged down to create for himself. And Shoemate came back. That's one of the few guys that did return from last year's team. And McNeese State's going to be very, very good again this year. So I did get a chuckle out of the pregame and postgame exchange between Oates and Wade.
I was curious about that. It didn't occur to me until I actually sat down after the podcast last night. I started watching. I was like, wait a minute. These two guys agreed to play a game they didn't have to play because it was kind of frosty the last time I saw them together. It's been a few years.
Oh, it was nasty.
Yeah,
it was
the SEC tournament is what I'm talking about.
The SEC tournament final was a classic game, man. I mean,
that was
a great game, and Herb Jones now with the Pelicans, man. He gets the bucket at the end to give him a 1-point lead, and LSU. Watford was really doing a lot of stuff. They were leaning on him a lot in their offensive sets, and he could create. And it didn't get. And they had a little putback, and I mean, Alabama escaped, but it was classic game. A lot of my friends around the country say, man, it's a high-level game. It's a really fun, not just to the local interest, but nationally. Got a lot of run. It was really good. And, Oates got nasty with his gestures after to Wade. And, these are two young coaches at that time, football heavy athletic programs that are trying to make trying to build some basketball programs. And Will Wade was on his way, and it was, obviously he's gotten detoured, and Oates has continued to build to the point where it's first ever Final Four appearance for Alabama last year, and they've got high expectations this year. They were able to fend off a little bit of a homecoming where he spent a lot of time as a high school coach in Michigan, and gave him a new deal, and so looks like he's set in Tuscaloosa for a while. So, and we'll see. I've got to believe this is Wade's last year in Lake Charles, and we'll see where he ends up maybe next year.
They were down 11 at the half, lost by 8.
Yeah, got this down as many 21, cut it as much as 6 late, but no, that's a competitive game. I'm sure Will picked up the phone and called Oates, and they had to agree to it. So water under the bridge there. So.
Doubleheader tonight, the State Farm Classic, Michigan State and Kansas. They're in Atlanta. Michigan State and Kansas at 5:30. So it's an early start, and then Duke and Kentucky in the second game.
One thing that they mucked it up. So McNeese State, they really slowed the. One thing that Alabama does, man, they move the ball quickly, and they slowed down that ball movement. They kind of their defense. It really disrupted what Alabama wants to do with their inside, outside. The white kid with the mustache, he's still good. He's very versatile.
He needs to shave.
Charlotte, this just in. They got a lot of people with mustaches now, so a lot more than 5 years ago. So
he needs to shave.
Well, it's he's a very, very smart, high IQ player, and he's a guy that can flash. Then finally, he flashed the paint quickly. Dished it out to a wide open 3. So he's going to help them. But the glaring statistic, if you look at McNeese's box score, 3 assists. Man, you gotta move the ball better than that, man. And I know Will Wade's half court sets. Sometimes it's a little bit of his Achilles heel on the bench coach part of it. He'll be the first to tell you too. I mean, you got to have more than 3 assists. So the ball movement's got to improve.
Want to see Cooper Flagg tonight? I've seen the highlights, obviously. From Duke. The likely number 1 pick in next year's NBA draft. He's gotten off to a good start. He's averaging about 16 points a game through the first 2. So that's against Kentucky. That's mostly what I want to see. I'm going to watch both games, because I need to start getting my basketball mind in gear. But I want to see Flagg in particular tonight, because he's a special talent, I'm told. And
he looks the part in some of the off-season stuff that I watched. I mean, he carries himself. He's a talent. But I mean, I'm just as interested in to see how this Pope Kentucky team looks early on.
Sure,
both teams are averaging around 100 points a game. Kentucky just over 100 points, Duke just under 100, and these new coaches. What was Mark Pope and what you noticed a lot when you watch BYU? Man, they move the ball, they share the ball, they can go rebound, defensive rebound to without the ball touching the floor. To whether it's a layup or an open 3 in the secondary transition. They are fun to watch. Still early. There's no doubt. It's a lot of new pieces. But I think both coaches are willing to run. And early in the season, with not as much at stake, you'll see a little bit more up tempo. It's gonna be an entertainment friendly style of basketball in the first one.
Total's 160, so it ain't going to be in the mud. You mentioned the assists, and Pope's team's moving the basketball. This is a coach's dream, right? 2 games, I understand it. They're just 2, kind of exhibition style games. They've made 77 field goals and had 53 assists.
I mean, there you go. That's 53 assists in 2 games, averaging 26.5 compared to 3.
Yeah, on 77 made field goals. That's an unbelievable.
It's his style.
Yeah.
And, so he has been able, even early when it's tougher to do, so that they're buying into his style. So I think it's going to be fun. I think both games are figured to be very competitive.
Dolphins last night get the win over the Rams. Is their season salvageable? Because I didn't think it was. And then they, late in the game, they're putting up the schedule. They've got at least 5 very winnable games in their last 7. In their last 8. Are they still? We're going to do something in first class, second class, no class with a couple of other teams, but are they still live as long as Tua stays as a quarterback?
They're on life support, Charlie, at 3-6.
That's why I'm asking. There's 2 games left with the Jets. They play the Raiders. They play the Patriots. They play the Browns. There's winnable games. It's kind of like Cincinnati. They've buried themselves record-wise, but there's winnable games on the back half of the schedule.
Well, that's the deal. Is that last spot, is Denver going to run away and hide?
I don't think so. I might have felt differently if they made that field goal Sunday, but no, I don't think they're going to run away and hide. But boy, they could have stole one in Kansas City on Sunday, and they didn't.
Well, they've had their close wins too. The Jets game was really close.
I guess I feel that way because it's the Chiefs. They haven't lost yet.
Well, they're where they should be. Denver's where they should be at 5-5. I mean,
you're
Indianapolis 4-6. Flacco looks less, and Cincinnati's 4-6. I mean, so they're a game behind Cincinnati, and I would think Cincinnati even is still the favorite to get that last spot. And with their schedule, and it's tough, but there's so much. I mean, Burrow is so little room for error, but I mean, who? You think the Colts or Cincinnati's going to have the better rep? I mean, Colts can't. They're not good.
Cincinnati's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and the Colts, they've got an aging veteran that just cobbled together and not a rookie.
Who's had 2 bad starts.
Yeah.
He played well earlier when he thrown in there, but and you wonder because it's like you talk about all the time. You just went about 4 or 5 starts, but there is a shelf life on a backup. A backup is a backup because they usually have limitations, and he does. And so they're probably going to make the switch back to Richardson. Maybe a little time on the bench has helped him a little bit. Probably you're going to get what you get at this stage of his career, but that's it. I mean, Denver is 5-5. I mean, they're and think about the teams they beat. They beat the Saints when they were playing with the JV.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the Jets, was a very close game. They lost to Pittsburgh at home. They beat, and I mean, it just so yeah. When you talk about that, a game, a half a game out, they're 3-6, and Cincinnati and Indianapolis are 4-6. A game and a half, if you want to say Denver's 5-5. Denver's win total is 5.5. They're going to be about 8 or 9. Can Miami get to 9-8?
9-8 would be a
6-2.
That would be a haul.
Okay.
I can.
Well, then you say it's probably too much.
Yeah.
Then I can live with that too. Because Tua didn't look good last night.
No.
No. He looked better in his first 2 starts back.
Yeah.
Even in the losses.
Of those teams, Denver, Indy, Miami, Cincinnati, it's easiest to like the Bengals, even a game behind the Broncos, because of Burrow. I mean, they've got. It's not that they've got a better quarterback; it's that they've got a top 3 or 4 quarterback, and the other teams are still trying to figure it out. I mean, as far as Tua's injury, I guess, but the Colts and the Broncos are your choices in Indy you just gave, and Bo Nix he's making some progress his rookie year, but he's still a rookie. The Bengals, with all of their defensive issues and with T. Higgins in and out of the lineup, have lost 3 games to Baltimore and Kansas City combined by, I think, 8 points total.
Yeah.
And 2 of those games were on the road. They could have won those games even with all the problems that they're having. So they're still the most dangerous of those
great.
teams.
Burrow's having a great year. It's just no room for error.
Yeah.
I mean, 0 room for error. So when they got a 10-point lead and he throws a pick in the first Baltimore game, that's going to come back to bite him.
5 points. Those 3 games were decided about 5 points total, and 2 of them.
But they're on no. There's 1 gimme left for them, and so all their games, because of their weak protection, they have no running game. Their defense is bad and banged up. Burrow is. I Could they have won the other night? Absolutely, they could have won.
You know, the one they really are going to kick themselves is the season opener when they got a weak Patriots team and just looked awful. That's probably the
When did they look good? Their opener.
none, but I mean, they ought to be able to beat the Patriots with their C game at home. I mean, they really should, and they didn't.
Okay, I mean they lost to Mitch Trubisky. Won a season opener.
Point taken.
I mean,
But I mean, I can justify losses to the Chiefs and the Ravens. I can justify a loss
that
to
came
Philadelphia.
down to a call.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs game was down to a call. That was you got their best effort there. I mean,
even the game against the Commanders, where Jaden Daniels makes a couple of unbelievable plays. The Patriots they should have beaten.
Yeah, well, again, they suck every opener.
Maybe
When's the last one they won?
Maybe they should play on week 0. That would fix things.
Schedule your SWAC opponent.
Yeah, see if they can have the third preseason
I
game.
think our coach here locally would be open to a lot of suggestions right now. Anyway, he's getting them from the governor. He's getting them from everybody else. So stock down with
there's certain
Childers
places
and
I
New
wanted to
Highs.
take advice from, and certain
We're
places I
live here
don't.
at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in the heart of Mid-City. And
Holidays coming.
holiday parties are just around the corner. Give us a call over here at 387-5331. Call Mr. Scott, and he will accommodate you. Any size, small private rooms, 12 to 16 people. The private bar area where we are in the Crown Town room. So they can do your music, you can do your videos, whatever you want to try and make it that much more memorable. But private bar area can seat up to 35. Just give Scott a call, and he'll set your menu or whatever you have in mind. They will accommodate you. Had a really nice crowd over here. So many people went to campus, but were leaving right before the game starts just to go take in the festivities on campus. It was a great atmosphere, but we had about 100 people over here for dinner, watching the game in our dining room, and also here in the Crown Town room as well. We're open for lunch, and our lunch menu is available Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we're open for lunch right now. Different sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, grilled, the blackened or the Nashville hot chicken sandwich that we have over here with all kinds of different type of toppings and cheeses and whatever you want. Hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, club sandwiches as well. Different po' boys like the debris po' boy, meatball po' boy, or the black and blue po' boy. Salads and plate lunches as well. And the plate lunches are generous portions, to say the least. That's where we are over here at Doe's Eat Place. Casual atmosphere to eat a great high-quality steak. Spaghetti and meatballs, hamburger steak, the catfish platter, the country fried steak, all very, very generous portions over here at Doe's Eat Place. Government Street in the heart of Mid-City.
Live at lunch from Doe's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Lofton Staffing Services, 924-0200, and lofton.jobs. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. The LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center. For reservations, thecookhotel.com.
With over 40 years in business representing the same manufacturer, Gulf Coast Office Products is committed to bringing 7 office equipment solutions to the Louisiana market. With flexible leasing programs available, Gulf Coast can accommodate your budget and customize invoicing requirements to help streamline your business. As official partners of LSU and ULL Athletics, 7 and Gulf Coast with over 100 employees care about our community and their customers. You're just one phone call away, 225-756-2644 for a free analysis. Gulf Coast Office Products.
Did you know most homes don't have adequate insulation? This means higher electricity bills. Capital City Comfort can come and inspect your home for any spots that need extra insulation. Get ready for Louisiana weather with Capital City Comfort. Online at capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
Drive a Land Rover or a Porsche? Choose Vex European for expert service. Tired of waiting weeks to get your European card for basic maintenance? At Vex European, we have committed to basic service done the same day or the next day. Book today, get service tomorrow. Visit VexEuropean.com.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Bluebonnet, winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
Did you know that over 50 million people are missing teeth and experience discomfort and embarrassment due to dentures that just don't fit? We have a solution to transform your life in one day. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Cassadaban. At Fusion Implant Center, we have witnessed life-changing transformations of so many patients, even those patients who were told that they couldn't be helped.
The board-certified doctors here at the Fusion Implant Center guarantee painless and cost-effective procedures. We are the experts and teach this new technology all over the country.
The Fusion Implant Center, with its team of experts and state-of-the-art operating rooms, is conveniently located in one facility. No procedure is too complex for us. Every patient is a candidate. Let us give you back your confidence and smile.
Call today or visit FusionImplantCenter.com. Don't go one more day feeling insecure. Join the over 30,000 who have transformed their smile and enriched their lives in one single day.
Sure, there are other places to watch football, but the real game changer? Yeah, that's Hooters. This season, Hooters is your headquarters for all the football action. Check out our game day bundle, 10 boneless wings and a Big Daddy Yingling draft for just $14.99. Plus, head to Hooters for happy hour and enjoy $3, $4, and $5 drink specials weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The best part? It's all served up by the world-famous Hooters girls. Hooters, winging it since 1983.
That was one hell of a game, huh?
Head to 1045 ESPN's YouTube channel for Whiskey and Wine with Moscona and T-Bob. Coming at you live and rowdy from Don Juan's Cigar Bar all season long, immediately after the game. Sponsored by Godlid and Home Fields Apparel.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. If you switch your residential or commercial trash pickup to us, we promise to never sell your trash to the paparazzi. Seriously.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand at the new LouisianaSports.net and 1045ESPN.com. Also, new Hannycast. We went through the film yesterday.
Okay.
It was bad.
What was bad? You were asking me, you know, scheme or effort or personnel, just not good enough.
You know, we went through the Milroe runs and the big ones, which there was multiple, and
the halfback lead, he wasn't really even blocking. He was just kind of going out.
He was untouched on the 39-yarder. And there's, first of all, I can tell you from the end zone view, you can really see this. Okay, the defensive line gets wiped out. There's not a defensive lineman that is even close. The hole is huge. So now you're counting on, you know, your back seven to make a play on him. And on the first one, Weeks flows to one side. Both of the safeties are completely out of position and then take bad angles once Milroe makes the, clears the line of scrimmage. Is that a alignment problem? Is that a schematic problem? I can't imagine that Baker, told those defensive linemen to get wiped out. Okay.
That's personnel.
Okay. And then in the secondary, what should have been probably a 20-yard gain ends up being a 39-yard touchdown. The other one should have been about a 20-yard gain, ends up being a 72-yard touchdown because the safeties are so far away from where they're supposed to be and then take bad angles to come back. So on the runs, again, if you can only put your defensive lineman in a certain alignment, you can only tell your linebackers to read a certain key, and when that front gets wiped out.
Okay, you're saying wiped out, but on some of those, there were some double teams too. Okay?
Some of the guys that got wiped out got
double teams. Okay, so let's be fair. I mean, so when you're using 2 to block 1, multiple times. So that's 4 on 2. Where's your traffic? Where's your crowded box? Where's your commitment numbers-wise to stop his legs before his arm?
It was the cutbacks, because on the first one, the 39-yarder, he starts left. Weeks goes left.
Yeah.
Penn goes left. Ryan goes left. I'm sorry, they all go. He goes left and they all go right. Okay, everybody's flowing. He cuts back and there ain't nobody there. There's nobody there.
Yeah,
and
that was a massive hole too.
Yeah.
But I mean, but can't you read the hole?
They didn't. They didn't. And
I thought Weeks looked a little, and he's had a really good year this year. He's had a great year this year, but I thought he looked a little outclassed trying to tackle him. And sometimes
there was a couple like that. There were more though where there's just a gigantic hole, and you got, we talk about poor run fits. There was a lot of that, but these runs that, again, they're opening up holes at the defensive line of scrimmage, and your safety play is not coming up to make these reasonable gains. Here's something else that we saw. This is going to drive people crazy if you watch it. The Caden Durham run, right? The formation had a motion in it. They get back in the pistol, and he goes right. It's a nice hole. He makes a nice cut, and they make 45 yards out of it. So why you didn't come back and run that again? I'll tell you why. You go look on the film. LSU did come back and run it. They ran it near the end of the first quarter, and they did everything they did the first time except for the motion. You know what every Alabama player is doing as soon as they come up to the line of scrimmage? You can see this on the film. They are all pointing exactly where he's going. I mean, exactly. And the linebacker, I think it was 46, he ends up on the motion. He moved to the right side. They ran it the other way. This time they don't run the motion. He doesn't move, and they're all pointing right where he's going to go. They still ended up blocking it for a nice, about a 6 or 7 yard gain. But why didn't you come back to it? Alabama adjusted. They to that play anyway. Why didn't you come back and run it? We're done. They did. Alabama adjusted. They knew what was going on. That was in less than a quarter of play. Just some of the things we saw in the film last night.
What you're not going to get. I didn't see the numbers that I wanted in the box. Yeah, you did have on that play. Come on, man, that's just poor reading also by the linebackers for everybody. But everybody's got a gap.
Yeah,
I mean, so
when he cuts back, there's no backside pursuit. You kind of over pursued it, and again, what turns these things from bad plays where the linebackers are flowing become monster plays because the safeties are out of position.
But Alabama also got back to they're in their week off. I don't know if it was prompted because they saw the A&M. I think it was dual. I think it was partly, hey, we got to do what this guy does best. Okay, He's not Michael Penix. He's not Zabaka Hayner. Okay, these guys that he worked with, at Indiana, Fresno State, and Washington. And even though Penix could run, he did not run. There were no design runs for him, minus like a 4th down in the Pac-12 championship game. Very much picking his spots. This was what this guy does. He's a great runner. And you just hope that he's going to have a decent passing game. But that's option A, and I just didn't see. I'm maintaining that didn't have enough crowded box for me. And effort-wise, when you're trying, you cannot compare the intensity level of LSU versus Ole Miss and versus Bama this year. You can't.
That was part of it, Jimmy. I'm not gonna. And it wasn't just the run game. What we saw last night was there was a couple of times, and we ran one back several times where the safety play is so out of position.
They just running. Yeah,
Williams is wide open. I mean, they busted that coverage so bad. If it's not raining in his face, he catches that easy. He's 5 yards behind everybody else. So if it wasn't raining and they wasn't running the ball so well, they could have gone to that because that was open multiple times. They just didn't need to run it. And after Williams, I don't want to say he dropped it in the rain, but the rain got in his eyes.
Well, to your point, Ole Miss certainly had their drop balls.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Harris on the first drive of the game. So all of that was discouraging. The schematic stuff the way I looked at it was more on the offensive side of the ball because Alabama had it sewn up. They again, you got to go watch the thing that we put on the video last night. The first play, LSU busted. The second time they tried to come back and run it, Alabama's already adjusted. And you can't run it again for what you ran it for the first time.
Well, that's what coaching staffs are getting paid for at this level.
That's the frustrating part. Yes,
that's the A&M thing. I mean,
so
he threw 2 passes.
I hate to. Outcoached is to me one of the most overused things in the business. But you look at this film, and I'm sorry, Alabama made the adjustments in the game for what was working and what wasn't working, and LSU never did. I mean, not on either side of the ball. Pick a side. It was their personnel is better than LSU's personnel. It ain't that much better than LSU's personnel.
Right.
So you got a personnel issue and you got a coaching issue.
Well, compare Ole Miss and Alabama's personnel.
Well, we talked about that yesterday. Ole Miss may even have better.
I think so.
185 personnel. If not, they're damn close.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And other teams are not having this problem. Marcel Reed went to South Carolina and averaged 2.9 yards a carry. Yeah. He had 3 touchdowns against LSU. He's got 3 touchdowns in his career. This game by Milroe was 63 yards better than his next best game, which was against Georgia. The 4 games before that, he didn't have that.
You're talking about rushing.
Rushing, yes.
Well, that is Georgia game passing is his career game.
Yeah, this is these running quarterbacks are not running all over everybody. They ran over you.
Yeah.
You may go on now.
Stock down on Brian Kelly. There's no doubt. I mean, they weren't prepared. I still think there was. It's all about your levels, like okay, what percentage we want to get to, or where's your team ready to play?
Right.
I'm sorry, I just saw guys run into the ball more. I mean, that was a hell of an effort defensively.
There's a clip going around on social media right now. Major Burns just flat out making a business decision not to make a tackle. It's plainly as I can put it. That's to your point.
Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Segan Lane, Segan near Perkins, right across Segan Lane from Ambrosia Bakery. Whatever the engine light comes on, bring it over to Jason Payne at K&M Automotive. Oil changes, brakes, tires, you name it, transmission, whatever you need done on your vehicle, bring it over to Jason Payne at K&M Automotive because he's going to give you an honest deal. He's busy, but I mean, that's what you want. All you want is a fair shake. You've heard the horror stories of being upcharged for unnecessary work. Not going to happen over at K&M Automotive. K&M Automotive on Segan by Perkins, open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. The only place I take my vehicle.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Thibodeau store and the Pierre Part store. As we're getting closer towards the holidays, you got some of those folks in your family a little bit hard to buy for. How about some Cajun cookware for the chef in your family? The Cuisinart Chef's Classic Stainless Steel cookware sets are on sale right now. One of the cool things is you go to ThibodeauStore.com. You can specially ship this cookware right to your door. Other things for the holidays, your outdoor cooking grills, you're kind of maybe a little bit out of season right now. There's some deals there. Outdoor power equipment, cordless power tools, tool storage, lots of different hand and power tools that you can get right now at a terrific price. Also some winter wear at the Thibodeau store. Coats and jackets are available too. Thibodeau store, lots of fishing gear. If you got fishermen in your family, you can get fishing gear that's tacked down there, plus some custom-made cypress furniture, some crawfish pots and some jambalaya pots that are unique that you can get for this Christmas. So with the holiday season coming up and a big Black Friday sale coming on that we're going to be telling you more about, pays to shop at the Thibodeau store. Online, it's ThibodeauStore.com.
People ask me all the time, where's a good place to go eat? My lock that never misses? Louisiana Lanyap. I've never had anybody disappointed. The snapper and papillote and the cocodrie are staples. Some of my favorites start off with the marinated crab claws or the oysters lanyap. For an entree, seafood stuffed bell peppers. Got a little kick to them now, so watch out. And blueberry bread pudding for dessert. Nobody has collected more 225 Best of awards than Louisiana Lanyap. 9990 Perkins Road near Bluebonnet, where you always get a little something extra.
Well, why don't you just come right out and say it?
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the Jim's Firearms.net hotline at 499-1045.
Say what?
Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the Jim's Firearms.net hotline. Get the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com.
Football season is back, and the best place to watch all the action all season long is at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, with wall-to-wall TVs and award-winning jumbo chicken wings. What more could you possibly want? Pluckers is also a great spot to host your fantasy football draft, with the commissioner getting a gift card when you schedule in advance. Make sure Pluckers is part of your game day plans every game day all season long. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Leaves are falling, and so are prices at Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. Now through November 30th, get up to $120 back by mail when you buy a set of 4 new select Toyo or Nitto tires. Plus, get free installation, a $118 value when you use your Shawbill's credit card. Visit ShawbillsTire.com to shop Nitto and Toyo tires and for complete offer details. Shawbill's. We keep you rolling. Offer expires November 30th. Void where prohibited. Subject to credit approval.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem? Call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Oh, my man. What's going on, Andy? How you doing today, buddy?
Doing well, getting set for another weekend of very meaningful games across the country, including in the SEC, where there are a host of elimination games with a lot of teams needing to win to keep alive their chances of playing in the SEC championship game. And if you get to the SEC championship game, you got a real good chance of making it to the college football playoff, unless it's in the unlikely situation, be a 3-loss team in the conference, which I don't think will happen.
Georgia trying to get up off the mat, and now, Charlie, we'll see how. This is the best program the last 5 years or so in the country, with a couple of national championships. And let's face it, they lost Alabama in the SEC championship game last year, but that might have been one where you're going to have a hard time convincing me they weren't one of the top 4 teams last year. As well. But it's about their quarterback in the second-year starter, Carson Beck, in SEC play, 12 interceptions and only 10 TDs. And, well, a nicked-up Nico. Never thought I'd be talking about Les Miles. But anyway, Nico's thrown for 200 yards in 1 of his 5 SEC starts, and that's it against Kentucky. Might be an old-school SEC game where points are tough in this week, because not only what you see with protection issues, listen, there's some things that Beck, he never had a chance against that front for Ole Miss. But the other thing is that, they're being safe with him. Now they're throwing lateral, throwing screens, and, a lot of so they're tentative to let him push the ball down vertically too.
Yeah, and
the one good thing for Georgia is they've owned Tennessee over the last decade.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like 5 or 6 straight double-digit wins, including some as relatively small favorites in that series. So, as nice of a team as Tennessee is, and a lot of people have questions about them. This is like red meat for the Georgia Bulldogs, especially in the situation they're in.
And I didn't realize this, but their schedule has been so road heavy. It's like 10 of their last 13. You're going back over 2 seasons against ranked teams that have been on the road. They haven't played a home game at night in over a year. So I suspect the stadium will be lit up for this one.
Yeah, they haven't, huh? I mean, they
just seem like all the big games have been on the road for them. Most of the big games have been on the road.
This team is this offense is not good. The defense is much better, but the offense is not as good as that Hooker team. And that Hooker team came in there and they got smoked 2 years ago. That was an afternoon game, but they got smoked. So Georgia's not as good. So it's tough. It's year to year, even with the best roster over the last 4 or 5 years. Andy?
Yeah, I'm still leaning towards Georgia in this game. The point spread may look a little bit high given all that you've just said, and maybe that's a little bit of a telling thing about Kirby Smart and his ability to prepare for a team such as Tennessee on an annual basis. Because at a certain point, you have to wonder, is it a fluke that they're able to win so easily against one specific team? And maybe not. Maybe it's just there's a little bit of a difference or enough of a difference in the recruiting level that suggests a better talent is going to win, especially in a big game.
It's a good point, Andy. I mean, 7 in a row, and here's the margin of victory: 41, 26, 29, 23, 24, 14 is the closest in 28. I mean, it has been really lopsided. So yeah.
If this game were at Tennessee, I might be a little bit more reluctant to pull the trigger on Georgia, but back home, and again, no margin for error, I would trust Kirby Smart over almost any coach.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Andy, we're just talking about the AFC's last team in the playoffs. If the Chargers maintain their level of play and finish out with, say, 10-7 or 11-6, that last AFC spot is going to come down to Denver, Cincinnati. Denver and Cincinnati's win total right now, adjusted win total, is both 8.5. Miami and Indianapolis behind them at 7.5. Who would you take?
Boy, Denver has shown great improvement. I was not surprised that they got blown out in Baltimore when they stepped up in class. I didn't play them last week, but I was surprised at the great effort they put in at Kansas City, which I think says a lot more about Kansas City right now than it does Denver. I mean, you don't normally win games on blocked field goals in the final moments, and that's exactly what happened with the Chiefs. And I'll be interested to see how they perform up in Buffalo. I don't think they could be caught looking ahead because it was a divisional game against Denver and the pressure to remain unbeaten. But in their pressure to remain unbeaten, they've had a lot of close calls this year. Cincinnati still has the talent, but I'll be interested to see what happens in their game this week at the Chargers. A lot of technical things do point towards Cincinnati, but they point to the Cincinnati based on a lot of things we've seen out of the past few years. I mentioned at the time of the trade, or at the time of the coaching change, that the Chargers have probably had the greatest swing in going from one of the horribly worst coaches in recent NFL history to one of the best. And that's proven out so far this season. We especially know the lack of wide receivers that the Chargers have had, coming into the season. And maybe that's part of the reason why they kept the leash on Herbert a little bit till he got some familiarity. In the meantime, an unexpected bonus from the running game and, of course, Harbaugh's physical play, Chargers are a legitimate team. So I want to see if Cincinnati is playing with a great deal of need, is able to go into the Chargers and win that game. I would, I wouldn't count out Miami. The schedule is a little bit daunting at times, but we all saw what happened with and without Tua, and another example was just again last night. I don't like much for Cleveland, but they still have some talent. But it's an important game down in your area, and that's New Orleans this week for Cleveland. Right now, I'm actually looking at New Orleans in that spot, but Cleveland certainly has the talent. But I just don't know. There just seems to be something missing from the Browns this year. So right now, Denver has as good a chance as anyone of getting that 7th spot. I think Cincinnati, talent-wise, has the edge. but they've not performed to that talent level by any stretch of the imagination,
December
especially
20
on defense, although the defense has improved lately, but the offense still has been inconsistent.
Second to last weekend of the season, Denver does go to Cincinnati. So, Charlie, we've been talking about how it's a tough schedule, but it's lightened up a little bit because, Dallas is not tough to play, especially, at Dallas. Everybody's lighting them up down there. So after this the visit to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, Joe Burrow and them, they play Pittsburgh, who's on fire right now. But then they play
them
Pittsburgh
twice over the last.
Yeah,
part of the season.
we don't know what's on the line in that one. They may catch a break where Pittsburgh's seeding is set. We don't know about that in the last week. But at Dallas and then at Tennessee. So that's 2 road games. Doesn't get much easier. And in Cleveland at home, we know that Cleveland is not one of the stronger teams as well. So those 3 are favorable after these next 2 tough ones.
And, again, the health of T. Higgins has been such a big deal. I hate to keep going back to it. The defense is what it is, okay? I don't know how much improvement you can expect there. But that offense is different when Higgins is out there.
And by
the way, the schedule would favor Cincinnati. If you look at Denver's last 3 games, obviously the middle one is the one at Cincinnati, which probably or quite possibly determines it. Prior to that, they are at the Chargers, and at the end of the season at home against Kansas City. And we don't know, given how Kansas City is right now, they're unbeaten. Will they still be 1 or 2 losses at that time? Because they've been begging for a loss.
Yeah, the next 4 are all winnable. Atlanta, the Raiders, Cleveland, and the Colts. But yeah,
by the way, keep in mind that the Raiders have owned Denver.
Yeah. So they may have to create some cushion before they go to Cincinnati on that second to last week. Anything that you're looking at this week? Do you like? What do you think about the Thursday night game, Andy, with Philadelphia and Washington?
Yeah, Philadelphia is starting to show a little bit that maybe they're going to do the reverse of what they did last year, where they had a total collapse in the second half after being 10-1 or 9-1 or 8, whatever it was, and they collapsed. And now they sort of look so-so. But the last few weeks, starting I think with that Cincinnati game, they've played a lot better. Actually, you even go back to that Giants game that they won, 28-3. But this Washington team has been resilient. Even last week against Pittsburgh, they played well against a very solid defense team. I've seen this line opened at 4. I've seen it down to 3.5. If I play it, it would be on Washington. I just like the overall consistency of this team, and again, well coached, well quarterbacked with a rookie. I think right now I trust Washington more than I do the Eagles.
All right. Andy, what about Colorado team? Our colleague Patrick Efferson from VegasInsider.com reporting that, man, they're getting money pouring in on Colorado. Charlie, since they got pushed around in Lincoln, Colorado has won 6 of 7 straight up, but they've covered all 7. Now, one of those was that Hail Mary against Baylor. One was a 3-point loss when they were catching 3.5 at home to Kansas State. But Coach Prime, that's 7 in a row. Man, it seems like we're going to get more publicity last year. Well, on the way to a 4-8 season.
And there's outside of the top 10, there's not a ton of teams that control their own destiny for the playoff. They're one of them.
Yeah, no doubt. But if they slip up, Kansas State with a big game at home in a battle of 7 and 2 teams this week against Arizona State, the youngest head coach in Division I. Andy, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Well, I can understand the money coming in on Colorado because that was a tough loss for Utah last week, especially with the comments that the athletic director came out. It's hard to recover from that, but this is a well-coached team, a physical team, and I'm kind of looking at Utah. It's almost like one of these games where let's see how Utah comes out, because if Utah comes out and seems to have shrugged off last week in their first drive or two, maybe I do an in-play game on Utah, especially if the game is like tied or scoreless and you're still getting some decent points.
All right. Thank you, Andy. We'll talk to you on Sunday and get your top 2 picks as part of Football Sunday.
Look forward to it, guys. Enjoy the week.
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. If your homeowners requires you to install wood windows, make sure you put the ones in that are going to last, that are built to deal with extreme Louisiana, South Louisiana weather conditions. At Relief Windows, we're proud to be the premier gelled wood windows company. These wood windows combine the beauty of real wood with high-tech energy efficiency features for all climate zones. Built using our last wood, Gel Wind windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot and termites, providing years of beauty and minimal maintenance. I sure wish I would have put in these RLS wood gel wind windows when the original construction of my homestead. But 10 or 12 years, had to replace them. And now I have those gel wind windows from Relief Windows. And then everything from setting up the initial consultation to when they do send it off to have it done at our American manufacturer, coming in, doing the time when they install it, going to be there at the time they say they're going to be. Everything done in a first-class manner. Relief Windows at reliefwindows.com, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 230-5652, and reliefwindows.com.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are bringing you the ultimate holiday gift with our Home for the Holiday sweepstakes. Imagine 2025 with your rent or mortgage covered up to $18,000. We're here to make your holidays a whole lot brighter. Just sign up at 1045ESPN.com and you could be living stress-free next year. Home for the Holidays is presented by Citizens Bank and Trust. The winner will be notified on December 20th. Sign up now at 1045ESPN.com.
From your couch to the tailgate to the stadium, Homefield Apparel makes the best game day and everyday gear. This year, Homefield's football box is brand new. It hooks you up with everything you need to cheer on the Tigers. T-shirt, long sleeve shirt, hoodie, hat, socks, and a koozie. Plus, you get 15% off your first order when you use the code LSU24 at checkout. Trust me, y'all, I've been sporting the gear for 2 years now. It's the best. Nothing like I've worn before. Quality, comfort, and style. HomefieldApparel.com.
At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Baton Rouge area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
In honor of Veterans Day, Twin Peaks is celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice by giving back to Tunnel to Towers. Tunnel to Towers helps America's heroes provide homes to first responder families. Get to Twin Peaks and donate $5 to Tunnel to Towers through November 30th and receive $5 back to spend on yourself at Twin Peaks this December. Twin Peaks, 6990 Segan Lane in Baton Rouge. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Make LeBear's Baton Rouge your game day headquarters this season. They've got the biggest screens around, and now you can bet and dine at ESPN Bet in person. Plus, sign up today for Cover 5's SEC contest. Go to the Cover 5 app, click on Join a League, and enter the code LABR SEC24. Pick each SEC game that week, play against your friends, and enter to win weekly and season-long prizes. Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today. LeBear's Baton Rouge, your live sports headquarters. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966 for help.
If you're looking for some time away, but you don't want to go too far, the Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a beautiful escape in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites overlooking the gorgeous LSU lakes. Whether you're here to shop or stay, the Cook Hotel at LSU is where you can find it all. Stay for the weekend, come by, grab lunch, or shop at their alumni gift shop. Visit thecookhotel.com to book your stay today. That's thecookhotel.com.
This is Will Campbell with the Tigers. Louisiana National Bank is committing to making every interaction with its customers an experience that's more exceptional than any you've ever encountered. If you're looking for a teammate to help you achieve your financial dreams, come see one of the Louisiana National Bank's uncommon bankers. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
121-12674. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Sometimes you just got to shake your head and go, man, is this real? New Orleans Pelicans guard Jose Alvarado is going to miss 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. We are not even halfway through November. The Pelicans are without Zion Williamson, Herb Jones, Jonte Murray, C.J. McCollum, Jordan Hawkins, and now Jose Alvarado, and they just got Trey Murphy back. They lost again last night to the Nets.
The Nets.
Yeah. I don't know what quite to say. Some of this in the past we talked about some of the. First, they blamed the trainers, and so they cleaned out the whole training staff. And they did that, and then we blamed Zion for not being in shape. And he actually went to camp in shape last year. He played the whole year, and didn't get hurt until the very end. And this year, you had a guy like DeJounte Murray, who's a 28-year-old in his prime, averaged 74 games a year for his entire career since his rookie year. Herb Jones, who's been about as durable as it gets. CJ McCollum, who's, had more injuries as he's gotten older, but has been a pretty dependable guy. And they're all out. Hawkins is in his second year. He's out. Sometimes you just, wow, really?
Well, they're snake bit this year, and maybe they've just had a bad run of bad luck. But this Western Conference is unforgiving. There's only 2 teams in the Eastern Conference with a winning record right now. So that tells you where you are with the Western Conference. So you're digging yourselves a hole. They're tied for second to last right now with a 3-8 record in the West.
Hour number 2 straight ahead, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
After performing 30,000 dental implant procedures, the doctors here at Fusion Implant Center have witnessed life-changing transformation of so many patients. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadban. Are you one of the 50 million people who are missing teeth and wearing dentures that just don't fit and are uncomfortable? Well, in just one day, you can have permanent teeth with a perfect smile.
The board-certified doctors here at the Fusion Implant Center guarantee your procedures to be done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively. We are the experts who teach these procedures all over the country.
This team of experts and our state-of-the-art operating rooms are conveniently located in one facility. This allows your treatment to be coordinated and can be started in as little as 10 to 14 days.
So don't go one more day feeling insecure or missing out on the ability to enjoy smiling and eating. Transform your smile in one day at the Fusion Implant Center. Call today or visit FusionImplantCenter.com.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Hey, Baton Rouge, remember Red Stick Sports, your hometown favorite since 1981. They've been here through every season, serving our community with pride. Still family owned and operated, they're more than just a store. They're a part of your life. Whether it's football, baseball, or any sport in between, they've got you covered. Any season, for any reason. Red Stick Sports is there for you. Swing by today and keep the spirit alive. Red Stick Sports, where every game begins. 5770 Essen Lane.
Hey guys, this is Kellen Martin with First South Farm Credit in Zachary. When you're in the market for land, you want a lender who can give you the most options. At First South, we understand what it means to own your own piece of land. Maybe you're ready to get out of that deer lease and get your own property. Or maybe you just want 10 acres to build a home on outside of the city. Whatever it is, call me, Kellen Martin, at First South Farm Credit in Zachary. Or find us online at firstsouthland.com.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Power outages can strike at any time. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is ready with our Shoots Electric Power Outage Tracker. For the latest information on any outages affecting Louisiana, head to 1045ESPN.com. Powered by Shoots Electric and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And welcome you back here at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. First class, second class, and no class. Let's start off with kind of in first class, a sad note. We lost John Robinson yesterday. He passed away here in Baton Rouge, a longtime USC and LA Rams coach, had been a consultant for Ed Ogeron, and was a consultant for 3 years, was a consultant on the 2019 team all the way through the end of Ogeron's tenure. Robinson was a national championship coach at USC. He won 4 Rose Bowls. He won 5 Pac-10, Pac-8, Pac-10 championships. And Jimmy, an extremely nice man for those that met him, and I know you did. I'm going to let you tell that story in a second. He member of the College Football Hall of Fame, and he presided on the opposite side of 2 of the most excruciating defeats for Louisiana teams ever. The 79 USC LSU game in Tiger Stadium, which goes down as one of the all-time classics, and the 1983 regular season finale of the Rams against the Saints, where Mike Lansford, the barefooted kicker, made a field goal to beat the Saints in what would have been New Orleans' first ever trip to the playoffs. We forgive him for those, I guess, but those were 2 of the toughest losses that decades later we still talk about for those 2 teams. But you had a chance to work with John Robinson on a game.
Yeah, some national was the Saints San Francisco national radio broadcast. I was doing sideline. He was doing the color for the broadcast. And, just having first time I met him and just going down on the field, and just a gentleman, man. I mean, just so respectful. Like, I don't know. He doesn't know who the hell I am. But as accomplished as he is, we just sat there and talked ball, man. That's it.
Yeah.
We just talked ball. And, told him I known Ogeron but, of course, we talked about that 79 crowd.
Yeah.
That atmosphere and that 79 USC game. It was so memorable. I mean, he talked about it, 50 years later, like it just happened, man. It was really cool. And, his wife was from Lafayette. So to come back to Louisiana, not far from her roots, was more, was something that they were willing to do more than most because they had some familiarity with South and Southwest Louisiana. So, I mean, and Ogeron talked about he asked him because USC didn't. He's sitting there and he's itching to kind of being a consultant and just a really a distinguished, just a classy guy. 2 different stints as USC's head coach.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
With those Rams teams, and I remember he would run that ball with Eric Dickerson too.
I would have.
he leaned on it pretty good, and as he should have. But I'm just for he came on our show and we talked about a bunch of things, but just a really polite, just a nice, distinguished, a guy that's accomplished so much. Just a gentleman, man. And I'm glad that I had to kind of come into contact and hang out with him for a little bit.
'79 USC team. Charles White won the Heisman and the Walter Camp that year. Brad Buddy won the Lombardi. Keith Van Horn, who played for the '85 Bears, that great Chicago team. Anthony Munoz, who I still consider the greatest offensive tackle that has ever played in the NFL. Don Mosbar, who was a starter for the Raiders for years. Bruce Matthews, another member of the Hall of Fame, who played, it seemed like 25
Pro
years
Football
in
Hall
the
of Fame.
NFL. Yeah, in the Pro Football League. Ronnie Lott,
pretty good.
Maybe the best safety
Yes,
that's
ever.
ever played the game. Chip Banks, Hobie Brenner, Joey Brown. That was one of the greatest
missed
teams.
one. He was a fullback.
Marcus Allen.
Yes. Marcus Allen was Charles White's fullback.
Marcus Allen was Charles White's fullback. Yeah. One of the most talented teams to ever set foot on the field at Tiger Stadium, and a game we still talk about better than 4 decades later.
And we knew all these guys. We didn't know they'd go on to be Pro Football Hall of Famers.
Right.
But we knew all these guys were that good coming in. It was such a cool electric. ESPN, I think, was in its a few months existence.
Yeah.
This is when they used to just take some in-house broadcast production of the game and show it. They did not show live college games at first. They always showed the live college basketball games. If you read the book on how they started, that's what the guys sold. The NCAA rights, and then also, and had he told the ESPN he had both. He had a big sponsor and he had the rights to NCAA basketball and got it done. But it was a tape delay. It was a tape delay game.
Yeah.
They used to show CFL, Australian rules football, and some of the other bizarre things that they had in their existence. But you could see in the corner where Kevin Williams scored the touchdown with about 32 seconds to go up 17-12. There's a little bit of an ESPN banner in that southeast end zone where he caught the ball.
The game's on YouTube now. The whole game is on YouTube. You can watch it.
Jim Simpson may have been doing it.
Jim Simpson and maybe Paul Hornung. I might be thinking about a Tiger Vision game, but it's available on YouTube. At '79, USC team finished 11-0-1. They tied Stanford, and they ended up finishing number 2 in the country because of that. It was Alabama's last national championship under Bear Bryant in '79. And they went 12-0. LSU lost to them 3-0. So those two great USC and Alabama teams. LSU right there with both of them in Charlie McClendon's last year.
Yeah. The '79 game, the USC game, you had the lead though, 12-3 in the second half. And USC, I think both of their touchdowns were in the fourth quarter, maybe in the third, but the last one was 32 seconds to go. The guy that caught the touchdown, LSU, you didn't even mention him. The Saints spent a first-round draft pick on him. Or is it a second? Kevin Williams.
Yeah, well, I think it was the second.
Okay.
Yeah,
a high pick on him. But it was rainy and cold November night. It was miserable. You think it was raining the other night. It was absolutely the most miserable I've been in. I got up to Miami hurricane basically a little early. But that game, and LSU, I think, took maybe 2 snaps past the 50. They never threatened. Alabama missed a couple of other field goals.
Yeah.
The score was tight. I think USC lost to Cal before the Alabama game, so that elevated Alabama to number 1 by the time they came in as well.
They didn't lose. They tied Stanford.
Okay. Okay. But
Elway was a freshman.
It was that USC game. And that's where, Charlie, there was a 7-4 LSU team that went to the Tangerine Bowl and played Wake Forest. Okay. I'm not saying LSU's personnel is great. No, LSU's personnel is not where it needs to be. Okay. We maintain that. And we were reminded of that, in this game on Saturday. But damn it, that team was playing with the damn hair on fire. Like it was life or death. Okay. Yeah. And USC and John Robinson admitted and said, man, we got out of there alive. We were in a war, and that place was ready to erupt Saturday night. And I'm sorry, you can give percentage on scheme and alignment and this. Man, I didn't see guys flying to the ball, bro. That's just that's
not even disputable. That's not even disputable. And a lot of the ex-players that we talked to are upset about that. Because of just what we're talking about.
This team's every bit as talented as that team was in '79.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. And that was That team played with a lot of pride, and that's what it was, man. It was okay. You might get out of here with a win, but it ain't gonna be easy.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be easy.
Rest in peace to John Robinson,
Yes,
passing
indeed.
away yesterday. All right, second class, I'm going to give you two NFL teams. We talked a little bit about one of them with Andy, and I want your opinion if they're not just contenders to make the playoffs, because obviously they are for that, but if they've got a real shot at there's real improvement. And the first one is the Chargers. They are 6-3. They are in position to make the playoffs and should. They haven't beaten a team with a winning record. I don't think anybody questions whether or not they're better. They are. Are they good? Are they good? Can they win a playoff game? Are they good?
Yeah, but they can lose one too. I mean, they're no given. I mean, he is what we all wondered coming in. I mean, we knew he was a line of scrimmage coach. He drafted Joe Alt first. He's not going to. I mean, that was the easiest call ever. And they're going to run the ball. They're going to be committed to the run. And he is. You look at the attempts for Justin Herbert. And what he's doing is got Herbert playing more efficient, and that's what he wants. He's not gonna go out there and throw it 50 times a game, and they still have work to do. It reminds me a lot of Nick Saban 2000 team here at LSU, where they just really couldn't run the ball at first, but he stayed committed to it. And Charlie, they just block and tackle. They're so much more sound defensively. They're not going to. Sean Payton's Denver team and this Chargers team is very, very similar. Very similar. They're not beating themselves. The biggest difference is obvious, and that is, I mean, Harbaugh's got a guy is one of the more talented, one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
He's got a dude.
He's got a guy there, but he's not going to just make him carry it by himself. He's going to give him more of a chance, and they're going to play close to the vest, and that's why Denver can, they're just very, very similar. Peyton wants to throw the ball around. You've seen that. Rarely did he have a team like this in New Orleans, where he had to shorten the game and play and make the other team beat you. But that's what they're both doing, and I mean that's half the battle. But this is why Peyton wanted the Chargers job first. It's a better roster, and but they're similar rosters, but he's got a much better quarterback. Nick's is kind of. It's a snail's pace, but isn't he moving in the right direction?
Sure. For a rookie, he's
moving in the right direction.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
Because he's asking very little of him as well.
And he's not spending the afternoon on his back the way Caleb Williams is.
Yes.
Making it a lot easier.
Well, both of these guys are going to make sure they have a better protection, too.
The other team is the Cardinals. They won their fourth straight, 5 out of 6 on Sunday against the Jets. They annihilated the Jets to the point where the media actually said, hey, you know what? The Jets may be done. The Jets have been done for quite a while, but that beating may have convinced them. Unlike the Chargers, they've got a couple of nice wins. They got one over the 49ers on the road. They got one, over those same Chargers. And, the game that I'm remembering, Jimmy, from back in September is they played the Lions well in Detroit. They didn't win the game. They lost by a touchdown, but they were certainly not, embarrassed. They did have a bad loss at Green Bay to the Packers. But Kyler Murray looks good. He had a franchise record-setting day on Sunday against the Jets. They get a week off, which they probably don't want right now the way they're playing. And they're in first place in the division. Though everybody acts like San Francisco is, eventually going to wake up and just run away with this thing, which I think that it may happen, but they're not going to run away. They may win it, but they're not going to run away with anything. You buying the Cardinals?
Yes. I hadn't been much of a Kyler Murray guy, but Charlie, they're slight favorites right now over San Francisco. But you shop around a little bit. I found plus 85 for them at the Queen here, the DraftKings
to win a division.
To win the division,
okay,
is Arizona's plus 115, San Francisco plus 135. And San Francisco, because they're usually in first place, they got a tougher road the rest of the way. So it's but I'm looking up the coach of the year right now, for the awards, and this guy at Arizona is doing as good of a job as anybody. So I mean, he should be higher than what he is. But what they're doing is, the one thing they have is a constant. They know they have a running game. And Connor, we know his history. I mean, cancer survivor. I mean, this guy got all heart. He runs, and when he's healthy, he's a difference maker. And they've given Murray some weapons as well. But in the pot, Charlie, do you see what his numbers were? And I'm not a completion percentage guy.
Yeah.
But with Kyler Murray is 22 of 24. Man, only 2 of his passes hit the ground. Man, that's him. You don't think that's an improvement for what he's been?
He couldn't miss the other night. Jonathan Gannon is the 7th choice to be coach of the year.
He's the value, man.
Yeah, he's a plus 800. Dan Quinn is the Coke favorite with Mike Tomlin at plus 450. So it's jumbled up.
You mentioned it, Chad. They beat the crap out the Bears the week before.
They did.
Both of these overrated teams, big market teams, come in with all the hype, whether it's the Jets and all, the Rodgers stuff and the reality show with the Hard Knocks with the Bears and everything else. But I mean, did you see some of the dropbacks with Williams? He never had a chance.
No.
This is New England. It's not Belichick's New England teams. This is a team that's projected to win 4.5 games.
Yeah, they changed the Bears did. They changed OCs this morning. I don't know if that's going to help at all. They got some offensive linemen in there.
Yeah, you need some, but my money would be on Gannon right now to at 7th choice to win that Coach of the Year.
Plus 800 right now.
Okay.
No class. Can't imagine what a miserable trudge into the office Scott Woodward had on Monday morning. In addition to LSU getting blown out, he got a little $250,000 invoice from the league. That's for throwing crap on the field after a call, which, by the way, was the right call. I understand that the replay in the stadium didn't show what we saw on the broadcast at home, but it was a face mask call, and it was the proper call. So I'm going to give no class to any fan who threw bottles or other crap on the field. You deserve whatever you get. You can't do that. All right. Herb Street got after him on the broadcast, and he should have. It's a pretty bad look to have your cheerleaders with the signs over their heads.
It's
okay.
embarrassing.
So it's garbage, and LSU deserves to fine, and they need to go out and do whatever it takes to find who did this and throw them out of the stadium. I'm fine with all that. But I'm not gonna absolve the league from this. We call this, okay? I hate that it happened at LSU, but after Georgia and Texas, this was going to happen again. And I'm not sure it won't happen more times. You caved, okay? You made a lousy call. You had all kind of debris thrown on the field, and in the time that it took them to clear the debris off the field, they changed the call. You are rewarding that kind of behavior. I don't absolve anybody from guilt at Texas or at LSU from throwing stuff on the field. Throw them out, revoke their tickets. I'm all for it. But the officiating crew at Texas invited this, and the league. I know the league put these policies in, and that's a good way to go. But this was inevitable, and I just hope we don't see it again this year. I think we will, though. It's hey, if you're not happy with the call, throw a bunch of crap on the field, and you'll get it reversed. They did at Texas. They didn't here, and shouldn't have it because it was a proper call.
I mean,
as if your day couldn't get worse. Hey, by the way, you got if you win the game and you throw the goalposts in the river and you get fined for that, you go, hey, it was a party. Everybody had a good time. You get your ass kicked and you get fined. That's a bad day.
This is the low spot since Brian Kelly's been here.
Yes,
the 2.5 years as far as confidence in him to get the job done.
This is way worse than the blowout loss to Tennessee. Way worse. Tennessee was a really good team that year. They had a great senior quarterback, and you weren't quite up to speed yet. There was 5 or 6 games into his tenure. You're in year 3. You're in the back end. You got a chance here, and you got annihilated.
And my team, and I think somebody wanted to take us to task. This is my quote because I've seen. Have we not seen better teams than this Alabama team?
Yes.
Come in here and get all they could handle?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why wouldn't they have, the place was ready to run. Man, they got to stop. Even with the, and then McAfee stirring them up on game day because you want them to, shout the expletives and things like that. They try to quit playing neck, and when you go back and forth with, man, it's just all like, you want to be a bunch of scum, man. Stop, man. Just What are you doing throwing things with your cheerleaders down there having to shield themselves with their damn signs?
You can be the greatest atmosphere in college football without that crap. We did it for 70
that's
years.
Right. That's
okay?
right.
Without any of that stuff.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, it is unfortunate that it's got to be LSU because it was coming somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not confident.
Now you have these fines for deterrence, right?
And nobody in the stands cares about that. They're going to, hey, I'm not paying the fine. Now, if they are able to take the video and they've got terrific technology where they can.
Oh, and you got to go see the dean and you don't have, and your tickets are revoked as a student. I mean,
you can't come to the stadium again.
Because you had to go through a few extra hoops to get the Bama ticket as a student.
That's right.
So you want to be there more than most. It takes a little extra effort.
And if you got it, and it's not just this year. Hey, look.
No, it's happening too much, man.
No, I'm talking about if you take tickets away from the students. If you throw a bottle on the field, you don't get to come next year either. Okay, because you might not want to go to the last two games this year. You don't get to come next year either.
It's. And yes, it was very predictable with the league. So you shout, you throw beer on the fans, you might get a call, which Texas did. Don't forget our friends at Electric Man. We are here to help at Electric Man. Your safety is our priority. Hey, guaranteed appointment times, licensed and insured, quality service guaranteed, quick repairs to full installations, lighting, electrical safety. Safety is always our top priority at Electric Man, whether it's tamper-resistant receptacles, ground fault circuit interrupter outlets, arc fault circuit interrupter outlets, or even USB outlets. We've got you covered at Electric Man, BatonRouge.com, 372-5356, or ElectricMan, BatonRouge.com.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Lofton Staffing Services, 924-0200 and lofton.jobs. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. The LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center. For reservations, thecookhotel.com.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is head coach Brian Kelly. When running a football program or any organization, core values are so important to the success of the operation. Integrity, honesty, and family is what they're all about at Hollingsworth Richards Ford, and I've experienced that firsthand. Now in my third year here in Baton Rouge, I've gotten to know them through their support of our football program. So it's simple. All of you truck buyers across the state, and I know there are a lot of you, when it's time for that brand new vehicle, go to Hollingsworth Richard Ford and tell them Coach Kelly sent you.
Bow and waterfowl season is open, and Southern Outfitters is your one-stop shop. Fully stocked with decoys, full-service bow repair, and sales. Tree stands, hang-ons, and hunting apparel for the entire family. Visit Southern Outfitters in Zachary and at SouthernOutfittersLA.com.
Tommy was professional, easy to work with. Tommy returned my call quickly, answered any questions I had. Tommy's crew showed up on time, installed the windows, cleaned up after themselves where you had no clue someone was even there.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Louisiana Lanyap on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Hi, this is Gordy Rush, inviting you to elevate brand visibility and ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Introducing Guarantee Media Digital. Secure your free digital audit now at guaranteemedia.com.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break, sprain, or strain. Open 7 days a week, nights and weekends. Walk-ins welcome. Learn more, brortho.com.
People ask me all the time, where's a good place to go eat? My lock that never misses? Louisiana Lanyap. I've never had anybody disappointed. The snapper and papillote and the cocodrie are staples. Some of my favorites start off with the marinated crab claws or the oysters lanyap. For an entree, seafood stuffed bell peppers. Got a little kick to them now, so watch out. And blueberry bread pudding for dessert. Nobody has collected more 225 Best of Awards than Louisiana Lanyap. 9990 Perkins Road near Bluebonnet, where you always get a little something extra.
Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. Visit svdpbr.org.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Have a question, a problem, call us. We answer the phone. 225-363-9053.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Doe's Eat Place live at lunch, the college football playoff poll will come out tonight. Jimmy, I read something this morning that I can't get my mind around as far as this thing goes, but I'm going to read it to you and see what your thought is. This is the brackets for tonight, that Miami has a 50.8% chance. Hang on, I'm not going.
I know they didn't quantify this crap, man.
Okay, that Boise State is 50.7. That there is not that big of a gap between the ACC champion and Boise State is like less than a tenth of a point. That never occurred to me that if Boise State was one of the top 4 champions, that they would get a bye. Apparently, ESPN thinks it's pretty close.
Oh, it's very close.
So you think that an 11-1 Boise State, 12-1 with a conference championship game, over a 12-1?
Compare your loss. Unranked Georgia Tech and number one Oregon when you got the lead in the fourth quarter.
All right, so you think that there's a chance?
I mean, which Boise's, and Boise's better wins is just UNLV? Is that it?
Boise's they're gonna win against Washington State, who's 8-1.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah,
that's their Washington State is their best win. The UNLV win is not bad. Other than that, the only team they've beaten with a winning record.
And what's Miami's best win?
Louisville. Probably.
Louisville's better than Louisville's better.
Duke's got a better record, but I think Louisville's better.
And then the secondary wins are better. UNLV. You're going to have an SMU win. The SMU thing might put them over the top, though.
If they won that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what
you're right. That's what we're talking about. The loss,
but it's close.
Boise's loss is way better.
No, but they don't have in the middle wins too. They don't have as many. I think it is close, but I think that
it was closer than I thought, Jimmy. They've only got 2 wins against teams with winning record. Yeah,
Virginia Tech and Cal have losing records.
Virginia Tech's 5-5. Cal's 5-4. I'm sorry, 3. Louisville, Duke, and Virginia Tech and Cal, and that's it. And Cal's 5-4. So it's not. It's a lot closer than I thought.
And look, I mean, they're down in all these games. Down double digits second half to Duke. Down 25 to Cal. I mean, at some point when it's that close, doesn't that BS at the end of the Virginia Tech game and the Cal game, then it come into play?
It would be on my mind, I for sure. If I'm in that committee room, I don't know.
But the overall schedule's tougher with Miami, but they sure have struggled against it way more than the loss. Does not compare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Oregon's toughest game.
Yeah, 61-84.
I guess Ohio State was just as tough, but you gave Oregon every bit the game that Ohio State did.
You did. 61 is Miami's strength of schedule. 84 is Boise's, and SMU's in the middle. In the middle of that, it's 72. So if SMU were to beat,
but the style points,
Miami,
Boise's been way more dominant over their strength of schedule. UNLV never had the ball in a one possession game, and their win in Las Vegas earlier. They'll probably play them again.
SMU's got 2 of the same wins that Miami's got against Louisville and Duke. They've also got a win against now 7-2 Pitt that is in their favor, and their losses to BYU by 3, and BYU still undefeated. So that's a pretty good loss too.
Mm-hmm.
If they end up being, and their strength of schedule.
But the 50% thing is Boise State's more than a 50% chance of making it to the playoff.
No, this is for the bye. This is for
the bye.
For the bye.
Okay.
Yeah. Who do you think's better if Boise State were playing Miami this week? 2 of them were playing in Kansas.
I would have Boise State as a favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Charlie, Miami's in a dogfight every game. Boise State's not.
And you would, and the automatic reaction is, well, Miami plays a much tougher schedule. They really,
no, it's a little bit. It's a little bit.
We just went through it a little bit.
It's a little bit,
not much.
No, and then Boise State, with San Diego State. Okay, we're going to stack the box. What do they do? Madison had four touchdown passes in the first half against them.
Right.
I mean, so they've got some balance. You can't cheat on them. So I mean, he's getting better. They have balance. I mean, Genty is a monster, man. He's gonna be a high pick too,
and he should get a trip to New York. I don't think he wins it, but he absolutely should get a trip to New York.
No, he's in.
This is the other thing that's interesting. The first 4 out. I got to tell you, 3 of these 4 teams would scare the hell out of me if I had to play them in the first round of the playoffs. Maybe even more so than some of the teams that are in. Ole Miss is first. Okay,
100%.
You'd be scared. SMU is second.
No,
the second team out right now.
Not Ole Miss. I mean, SMU is not on Ole Miss's level.
They're not. They actually may have a clearer path because they actually control.
Well, I understand.
Destiny,
no. And listen, SMU with everything that they have, and they had to buy their way into the ACC, and they're having a hell of a year, and they had to make a quarterback switch. Their returning starter at quarterback was a strength of theirs that they had to bench,
and
that's taken them to another level.
And that's the big thing. We don't have to project when you say, well, you had that loss, but it was, there was an injury or something. No. They changed quarterbacks. We've got a long sample size with the new quarterback, and they've been blowing everybody out. The loss was very respectable. You said you'd have Boise State as a favorite over Miami on a neutral field. What would you have SMU? If SMU when SMU and Miami play in the ACC championship game,
it's going to be around. It's going to be around a pick 'em.
Yeah, I like SMU better.
Well, before the upset, Miami was favored.
Right,
about 3.5.
Yeah, and SMU they had their hiccup. They went to Duke and should have lost. Okay, by the number, they turned the ball over 6 times and still won. So you got that one out of your system. And then the third team out is Colorado, who also controls their own destiny, and they're a scary team to play right now. Now they got the trickier schedule. They still got to go to Kansas, and they still got to play Utah at home. So
they play Oklahoma State at home too, right?
That's the last game of the season.
And then they play the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, but I don't. The Utah game and at Kansas, those are tricky games. I agree with you. They catch Utah at a good time.
I think they catch Utah at a great time.
They do.
I mean, and still, where Utah was in position to win, and they probably should have won, but they still only had 250 yards of offense. They still, and look, if you wonder whether or not they were a little emotionally spent in that game, even in a loss, you can be a little emotionally drained for the next game. I would just go see the AD. I mean, they are. That was a lot in that one.
He's writing his check.
This was their one Super Bowl. I mean, this was their one salvage to their season, because their season was, they're 4-5 now. They were predicted to win the Big 12, and Rising got hurt. And he got hurt. He threw 5 touchdowns in the first half against Southern Utah. Now, here we go. And then he got hurt like the halftime of the second game. And it's been a Band-Aid ever since. I mean, he meant not be a pro, but damn, he sure was important to that team. And then they tried to play him, and it was ugly watching him against Arizona State. But they had a chance to ruin their hated rival in a place that doesn't have a whole lot of, pretty tame environment. They get nasty with each other on the football
field. Throw nothing on the field, but it gets a little nasty. You're right. The trip to Kansas is a lot tougher. I agree. In the second to last,
Kansas is hot now.
Yeah.
Kansas with Jalen Daniels, the last 3 games, about 500 yards offense every game.
Yeah.
So.
The last game against Oklahoma State is likely to be playing to avoid a winless season in conference play.
But
so you see if you get a little pride at the end.
It's
maybe
their little one.
Yeah.
Keep in mind they play BYU in a similar spot where okay, let's ruin these guys' season, and they had them beat. So they can have them beat, then go to Colorado. Colorado is 1-6 of 7, but they've covered 7 in a row. 7 in a row they've covered. One was a Hail Mary against Baylor, but they still have and Patrick Everson again reporting, man, they are lined up. They're pouring in on the money. I think they catch Utah. I'm going to fade Colorado. Not this week.
No, in 2 weeks. Projections are Oregon, Texas, BYU at 3, Miami at 4, Ohio State at 5, Penn State at 6, Tennessee 7, Indiana 8, Notre Dame 9, Alabama 10, Georgia 11, and Boise State 12.
Georgia 11.
And if they slip up and lose to Tennessee,
they get a good win,
they'd be out.
And Tennessee with that schedule doesn't deserve to be in, which is 2 losses.
They beat Georgia, they will be on the inside track to the SEC championship game. They control their own. Tennessee controls their own destiny, as does the winner of Texas A&M.
And it does look like playing Vanderbilt now is a little bit, they look kind of tired.
Maybe out of gas finally.
Might be
out of gas.
So
college football playoff poll coming out tonight, number 2.
Don't forget our friends over at Workbox Services LLC. My buddy Martin Padial, and been doing it for quite some time now. He is he sold a branch of the business, but we are still doing a lot of stuff over at Workbox Services, including the movable storage needs, the commercial or original, the shipping containers, custom storage containers, all different sizes. Most companies have one standard size, not Workbox, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or 8x40 feet. Again, these units can be customized for any use, custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. So all kinds of different uses for these shipping containers. Give Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, or workboxllc.com.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Yo, Jacob and T-Bob here. And look, we've been talking about the All-Star Toyota rentals for a while. We wanted to remind you about them.
First, if your car is in service with them, they have daily rental rates starting at $5 per hour for a minimum of 2 hours.
Second, you can try before you buy with an extended test drive.
Third, they have daily, weekly, and monthly rentals with flexible plans and competitive rates. You can rent a new Toyota for as little as $60 per day.
Check out their website at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com/rental. People you know, cars you trust, All-Star Toyota.
If you're tired of erosion and mud and want your lawn looking its best, winter is the easiest time to lay grass sod. Let Quality Sod help you select the perfect grass for your lawn. For winter sale prices, call 610-4842 or QualitySod.com.
Football and Fireball is a match made in heaven. And by heaven, of course, we mean Twin Peaks. Spice things up next game day with a shot of our favorite cinnamon whiskey, Twin Peaks. Visit the Lodge, 6990 Segan Lane. Each drink, scenic views.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
In Louisiana, it's not if you're going to need a home standby generator. The question is when.
Optimized Generator People are Louisiana's largest and best full-service Generac dealership with 4 locations covering all of South Louisiana from Lake Charles to Slidell. And they only do one thing: home standby Generac generators. Prepare now so you can stop worrying about not having emergency power when you need it. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com.
If you're a small business owner, you've probably noticed how the big banks like to force you into one-size-fits-all financial service products. At Neighbors Federal Credit Union, we've created a suite of flexible commercial checking accounts designed to fit the specific needs of your local business. And with 9 full-service locations throughout Greater Baton Rouge, we're always just around the corner. We're a local small business looking out for other local small businesses. Learn more about Neighbors commercial checking accounts by visiting neighborsfcu.org. Neighbors Federal Credit Union. We're here for you. Insured by NCUA.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Cooler weather means hot deals at Chaville's Tire and Auto Service. From November 7th through December 8th, get up to $60 back by mail when you buy a set of 4 new select Michelin tires. And get free installation, a $118 value when you use your Chaville's credit card. Visit ChavillesTire.com to shop Michelin tires and for complete offer details. Chaville, we keep you roll. Offer expires December 8th. Void where prohibited. Subject to credit approval.
Okay, Tiger fans, ready for an unforgettable adventure? Join the LSU Alumni Association for an epic 4-day, 3-night trip to Orlando. Watch the Tigers take on the Florida Gators in this SEC showdown. Enjoy a 3-night stay in sunny Orlando, including airfare and exclusive access to all the game day excitement. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Packages are limited, so act fast. Visit LSUalumni.org for more information and book your spot today.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Also brought to you in part by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a great job for our family. So if you're hurting, if you got back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, anything that's keeping you from getting around or costing you a good night's sleep, let them get you in a program that'll help you out, get you to feeling better, whether it's just some exercises and stretches that can loosen things up, or you need dry needling or electric nerve stimulation, cryo, or ultrasound therapy. Check them out at Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla, and Dr. Michael Goff. Saints waived Connor McGovern yesterday. Who cares, right?
I was about to say.
Well, I'm going somewhere with this. McGovern, if you like, who the hell is that, has started 5 of the last 6 games at center for the Saints. So they waived him yesterday, which means that Eric McCoy is ready to go. Jimmy, just in the nick of time, McCoy is back. Ruiz is back. Carr's back. Taysom Hill's back. You're not going to get Olave and Shaheed back, and Lattimore has been traded. But wouldn't it just be like the New Orleans Saints to get all these guys back and go on a little bit of a run and have Mickey Loomis say, see, we told you. It was just a matter of getting our guys back, and we look like that team that won the first 2 games of the season by a combined 80 points or whatever it was, and say, hey, you know what, we were on the right track. Never mind the fact that Dallas, that win that looked so good that day, and I was right on board with it, is a lousy football team. But que sera, winnable game against Cleveland, winnable game at home against the Rams, winnable game on the road against the Giants. They're going to float this story again. And getting McCoy back is huge. It's the biggest injury of the season.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
given
when it occurred,
this is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real big deal. Man, look, that Kamara is playing great this year.
He is.
Playing great. Carr is. All quarterbacks are affected by pressure, it seems like Charlie, he did one the other one, man. The first little bit of pressure, man, my man just bailed. I mean, it was, man, you got hanging there a little bit, man. So he doesn't have any the mobility to extend plays, but that play shit tells me, oh, this is why he's so durable. I mean, he doesn't want to take a hit. He bails.
Yeah.
But you give him some time, baby. He could throw it as good as anybody. He throws a beautiful ball. I love the ball that he throws, but he requires maximum protection, and he was getting it early. And no, this is both of them back. This is the man where everybody else is, only getting thinner. It's a big deal.
Valdez Scantling, it finds the fountain of youth or whatever.
Yeah,
the
two top receivers out for the year. Yeah,
and Valdez Scantling looked great on Sunday. I mean, he's only 30 years old. He's not that old. He can still play. He was just kind of buried up in Buffalo for whatever reason. He had a big game. He's a vet, Cleveland, the Rams, the Giants. All right, at home against Washington, Washington's playing really good, but at Green Bay you don't win. Vegas and Tampa Bay to finish the season. I mean, there's potentially 3 or 4 wins in there, and you get back to 7-10, and Mickey thinks, oh, look, we're just an injury or 2 away, and you get the 12th pick in the draft, and it's just you do not get off the conveyor belt again. The trade for Lattimore, I asked this when they made it. In the offseason last year, they restructured his contract to make it easier to trade him. And we know what they do whenever they get in a tiff with somebody, whether it be contract-wise or something else, and they decide to move them, even if they're productive players. We saw it with Brandon Cooks. We saw it with Jimmy Graham. We saw it with Junior Gillette. They get in ahead, and we got to move this guy. They just might have taken them a year to do it. You got no intention of rebuilding. They're going to do the same damn thing that they always do. If they win 3 or 4 the rest of the way, they're going to extend more contracts and just stay on the same conveyor belt. Anyway, Eric McCoy's coming back. He's a really good player, Jimmy. He plays a really important position.
I was devastated when he went out in the Eagles.
As were the Saints.
Devastated. I couldn't in-game the Eagles enough on that day. And I mean, and it showed. I mean, and it's been an uphill fight since. But no, him back, but him and Ruiz. I mean, the whole I wish you had one of those guys at least.
The receivers,
yeah. But no, this is going to be a major improvement on what they did. I mean, they have that quarterback. It's night and day with protection, night and day. And Kamara's been really good. Now, they got less to opposing defenses have less to be concerned with on the outside, so they can show a little bit more attention to him. But man, this helps. But how big of a hole have you dug yourself in?
Too big.
Yeah, it's too big.
The never-ending pursuit of 9 and 8. Again, I gave you my definition of rebuilding yesterday. It's not trade off every player. It's please don't put yourself in any more financial jeopardy than you already have. And please don't trade your damn draft choices away. Okay? Keep your draft. You actually have some draft capital. You got a couple of extra picks, and maybe at least one more coming when the compensatory picks come out. Please, for the love of God, don't just give them away.
9 and 8, they retire Carr's jersey up in the dome.
No, I think you have to be 8 and 8.
8 and 8, okay.
And that's not possible anymore mathematically. But Saints a 1-point favorite in the dome.
8 and 8 gets it done.
It's a bad team around you, Jimmy.
Excuse me?
I'm just kicking the ant pile. We've done that segment enough times. I know how you feel about that. Read your last spot.
Maybe another one. That's all. From Pee Wee to the CFL to the college to pro, wherever. Australian rules.
Still searching.
Yes.
Read your spot.
Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Don't forget our friends over at Total Maintenance got a deal. Hey, we're right around the corner from turning those heaters on, right? So right now at Total Maintenance, it's the Jimmy Ott special. That's right. It's normally $179. It's just $79. Your one-time heater check, $79 instead of $179. Calling my friend Lucas Ragusa and his great staff over at Total Maintenance. They're one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, Rheem Parts, Generators, authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings. Membership programs, that's the smart way to fly. You got way too many things to worry about when you need your service check for your heating and AC unit. Cover all services with discounts and extended warranties. We'll let you know when it's time for your unit to be serviced. You don't have to worry about. Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
If you like Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar before, you will love the
Modesto tomorrow, right? Yeah, okay. Whenever you're ready, Jordan.
It's rolling.
This is Charles Hanagriff. Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Modesto, corner of Nicholson and Burbank. Scott Rabelais from The Advocate joins us along with professional sports handicapper Randy McKay and Wes Reynolds from Beeson. Modesto, 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
To countless Baton Rouge homes, Ryson Roofing spots the damage, makes the claim, and replaces your roof. You pay only your insurance deductible, never anything more. Call Ryson Roofing today and schedule your free inspection, 330-3513. RysonRoofing.com.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me as we talk college football all year long, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's brought to you locally by Louisiana Turf Company. Visit them at louisianaturf.com.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Football season is back. It is a great time to discover Don Juan Cigar Bar. Top shelf liquor, craft beer, premium cigars, and plenty of TVs to watch every game on your football Saturdays, Sundays, or any day of the week just to relax. Don Juan is also the home for whiskey and wine, so join me and T-Bob after every LSU football game at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center in Baton Rouge. Are you tired of glasses, contacts, or readers, or is it just time to schedule your annual eye exam? Well, the Williamson Eye Center has provided excellence in eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery for 75 years. Call the Williamson Eye Center for a free vision correction consultation to get out of those glasses, contacts, and readers. Visit the Williamson Eye Center in 7 locations around Greater Baton Rouge or call 924-2020. That's 924-2020 or online at williamsoneye.com.
Do you have a big business, small business, or nonprofit? Whether your business is planning its next big step or just taking its first, you can benefit from Gulf Coast Bank & Trust's knowledgeable bankers, their personal service, and business solutions. Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Jake and James of Trash Rangers of Louisiana. If you switch your residential or commercial trash pickup to us, we promise to never sell your trash to the paparazzi. Seriously.
Looking for a tax deduction? Think about donating your car, boat, or RV to St. Vincent de Paul. Visit svdppr.org.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
It's field trip day over at the PMAC. This is the day that the women's basketball team plays a late morning game, and they invite all of the kids to come out. They're gonna win. They're holding a 69-point lead over Charleston Southern with about 2.5 minutes to go. 110 to 40 now 67.
Cut to 67.
Yeah, so Clark J. Johnson went over 1,000 points with
that's it.
during the game today.
Yeah.
Chiefs getting Isaiah Pacheco back, could play this weekend against the Bills. He's returned to practice, man. They managed to weather the storm of the injuries that they had at wide receiver and running back, and they're still undefeated. So he's going back to practice today. We told you about Jose Alvarado. They're saying 6 weeks for the hamstring injury for him. So the avalanche of injuries for the Pels continues. And the Bears fired Shane Waldron this morning, their offensive coordinator. That will fix everything. But let's see if they can get the ball out of Williams' hands before he hits the turf, because he's been hitting the turf a lot. Sacked him 9 more times this past weekend. So he's had a rough rookie year. We got Maction tonight. Boston State, Buffalo, Western Michigan, Bowling Green, Central Michigan, Toledo. 2 terrific basketball games with the State Farm Classic over in Atlanta. Duke and Kentucky, the late game, Kansas and Michigan State, the early game. Thanks to the folks here at Doe's for being our host today. Tomorrow we are at Modesto, corner of Burbank and Nicholson. Till then, for Max, for Jimmy, Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon from Doe's Eat Place. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.